I don't know about y'all, but wedding season never seems to end. I thought I was out of the game 6 years ago when my wife and I went to about 20 of them, but now my boy Albert is engaged and getting ready to be married later this year. So it
Yeah.
seems like the perfect time to do a wedding slash honeymoon slash just overall love related pocket change segment. Let's do this thing. All of the lights. Welcome back to the Six Pennies podcast. Again, this is only 4 pennies for the time being. For the indefinite future, Timmy's still out of commission taking care of his baby. So just me and Albert here, and we're going to try to make this rather quick. I know Nas kind of right next to you are in the same room waiting to go and run some wedding related errands. So
wait.
while we're on topic,
I have a quick question. I'm not a
yeah.
dad, so maybe you can help me out. Why can't Timmy record podcasts?
I don't know. Maybe it's not a good look with his in-laws around that he's just kind of holding himself up and talking to us. But I don't know. We went through much different first, second, third day dad experiences. But hopefully he'll get back to joining us soon. But let's talk about you real quick. What kind of errand or where are you guys along in the process for wedding planning?
Yeah, so we're getting married in September, which is about 4 months away now.
Yeah.
But we're both really type A people, so we basically already have the wedding completely planned out. So we're
Awesome.
really just playing like the playing game at this point. We do still have to send out invitations.
I just got it. Oh wait,
No, you got to save the date.
I got to save the date.
Yeah, and then
You're right.
formal invitations. And right now, I'm being rushed actually to finish this podcast as fast as possible because we're gonna go look at wedding bands and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's been good. It's been a good process. A lot of fighting and learning about each other, but at the same time, it's like worthwhile. So everything's good.
Yeah. So this sounds like a good time to bring up the two questions we have today for our bracket change. The first one comes from our boy Conky Wang. Um, actually, first of all, before I enter this, do you remember that night? Like this is probably like a month and a half ago, where I texted you out of the blue, and I was like, "Do you know Conky's real name?"
Yes, I do remember that.
So I saw Conky at a wedding. Mutual friend was getting married, and uh, he blew my mind. Like I was just thinking about it the rest of the night because it already blew my mind a couple years ago when I found out his first name wasn't Conky, and I apparently like all his coworkers and everyone call him David. So I was like, who's David? What are you talking about? So apparently I thought his name was David Wang, but I thought it was like David Conky Wang or something. Like Conky was his middle name, and then I find out at the wedding that his first name isn't even David. His middle name's David, and his first name is Jonathan. And I was like, what? And the whole rest of the wedding, that's pretty much all I was thinking about. And I even texted you to make sure that he wasn't just like pulling fast one on me. Um, but yeah, so that's the story on Conky. And he asks, just for ways to make weddings cheaper.
Oh man,
this is
that is a
very
super loaded
good timing.
question.
Yeah, very loaded. Do you have any tips for him off the top of your head?
So one thing we did for my wedding, me and Na's wedding, is the venue that we picked allows us to provide our own alcohol. And I know at first that may seem like a lot of money. So we have around, a couple hundred people going, and if you do the math, it comes out to be like $3,500 worth of beer, wine, liquor, mixers, things like that. But if you were to get like a venue where they provide catering or they provide the alcohol there and you have to pay per head, it's like two, three times more than that amount. And so that's actually my biggest piece of advice for people who are planning their venue is pick a place where you could provide your own alcohol.
Yeah, so for ours, we went with just wine and beer. But I remember for my sister's wedding about a year ago, they went and their wedding allowed them to BYOB as well. And it was the first time my mind was blown for this as well. I didn't know you could return alcohol. So like a couple days after, so a couple days before the wedding, they were just really kept worrying that they didn't have enough, which is definitely a bigger problem than having too little. So they just overbought, and then a couple days afterwards they return them all. Uh, the only problem was they decided to move to Denver right after the wedding, pretty much, and so all that leftover alcohol that was already open came to my house. It's a pretty nice hookup, but it was also around the same time we were in the middle of the adoption process,
Yeah.
and we had to have like a what they call a house visit, where they come check out the house and make sure it's safe for kids and everything, and nothing weird is going on. So remember the social worker came over, and first thing in the door, our dining room's on the left, and we put all the alcohol there on the dining room, like on this little table next to the dining room, and then so the only complaint she had was she was like, it's okay if you guys drink, but probably next time I come, you guys should probably put those away. And then I had to like explain to her. I was like, no, 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 that's actually not ours. Oh, it's just left over, but probably not the best first impression.
Yeah. But
Uh,
I guess it
no, go
worked
ahead.
out because your adopted child is amazing. So
Yeah, yeah, it all worked out in the end. For Conky, I think I have three kind of overall rules. It makes it pretty easy to make weddings cheaper, and if you do it right, I feel like you can make money on the wedding. Maybe if you have it in Texas, I don't know where he's having it. If it's in California, probably no chance. But first one is to figure out what really matters to you on your wedding day. So if you don't really care about various stuff like flowers or centerpieces or whatnot, like all that stuff, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up. You're gonna have like
it's
20 plus
expensive.
30, yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna have 20 plus 30 tables there, and you multiply that out, and it really really adds up quick. So we ended up doing a lot of uh, DIY for our wedding. So shout out to all the house party everywhere. I feel like for every wedding, it's the house party that kind of they're kind of like servants. They end up doing all the work with none of the really praise. Um, Next to them is probably bridesmaids. They end up doing a lot of work too. Easiest job by far is being a groomsman,
Oh
right?
yeah. Unless
Like
you're the best man.
best man. I mean, really, you just yeah, best man. If you have to, plan out the bachelor party, that's pretty big. But at the same time, it's just fun.
But
Like
yeah, if you're like groomsmen 2 through 6 or whatever, that is the life.
yeah, you don't do anything. You just show up on time and eat and
Yeah.
dance, and that's pretty much it, right? Um, so that's my first thing. Kind of just figure out what really matters to you. The second thing is no registry, or if you have to have a registry, make it very limited.
True.
I think that's the biggest thing. It just seems really old school now. Like especially, most of the time when you're getting married, like you're not starting from literally ground zero. You normally have a place to stay already. You normally have stuff like plates and forks and stuff. You don't need to buy all that stuff new. And the third thing kind of goes along with that. Don't be afraid to ask for cash, especially. Um, I think there's kind of we're Asian American, obviously, but the American side of us kind of it's kind of taboo to ask for cash, right? But don't be afraid to ask, and a lot of people won't give it unless you do ask. So you might as well ask and just really rake it in, man.
I think the our Caucasian counterparts are starting to learn that because they're starting
Yeah,
to do that themselves. Like, there's less registries. There's no more Bed Bath and Beyond,
yeah,
and all that kind of stuff. Because you never will use the things that they give you. So they're
yeah,
starting to realize like money is the most practical, the most valuable, and it's just the easiest too.
yeah. Do you guys have a registry?
Yeah. So our registry is like a honeymoon fund. So we're basically
Yeah,
just
true.
yeah. If you're bringing any gifts to the wedding, then we would contribute it to our honeymoon fund. So
Nice.
I wanna add a couple things to cost saving ideas or cost saving tips for wedding planning. As Na's mouthing some of the things to me, one thing she said is wedding planners. They're unless you find like a really 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 good one who is like in tune with the industry and knows all of the hookups, wedding planners really are just like the middleman
Yeah,
of everything that you need to set up. So unless you're super super busy, you don't really need a wedding planner because the wedding planner will still end up asking you all the questions that you need to decide for yourself anyways. And then on top of that, I wanted to piggyback off your, your flowers and your centerpieces comment. It's true because, flowers definitely heighten the beauty of the wedding and makes everything look nicer and fresher.
Yeah.
But I will say that it's literally a one-time cost. Like, you're never gonna, unless like I remember your wedding, like you said, there was a lot of DIY stuff, and so there were a lot of like fake flowers that were made or folded, and so people can
Yeah,
take
like
that home,
origami. Yeah.
yeah, and cherish it. But if they're real flowers, like literally it's just used for that day and that night and never again really. So unless you're willing to put in the money for a one-time use type of thing, then flowers, I would say it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it is a lot of work though. If you decide to go the DIY route, I'm pretty sure like Ophelia and her sister still have nightmares about making all those bouquets by hand and everything. Um, but I don't know. I feel like it's different for every couple. Like
Yeah.
sometimes there's one person that's just gonna take charge and they know exactly what they want. For us, when we were planning the wedding and going on probably 6, 7 years ago, Ophelia kind of took over from that aspect, and the only thing I
Man, you
had
guys
any
have been married for that long?
yeah, it's been six
Yeah,
years,
7, 9, 11,
almost
7,
6 years.
9,
Yeah,
11. Dang.
yeah. So yeah, the only thing she really asked me for was to pick one of the wedding colors. So that
Oh,
was
that's
pretty much my
easy.
only contribution
Yeah.
to the wedding. So that's why the royal blue and the shoes we wore.
Props to Conky.
Who knows? Jonathan, David, Conky,
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
I mean,
Um,
his parents and friends just call him Conky, so
yeah, I pretty much gave up trying to figure out where the Conky came from if it's not part of his first or middle name. I'm guessing it's a Chinese nickname now, but who knows? Um, but yeah, thanks for the question, Conky. Good luck. I'm sure you guys will be fine. Um, next question comes from Miss Wynn, your fiance.
yes, yes.
She asks, honeymoon destinations. I'm guessing this is a personal question.
Yeah, I mean, we're always going back and forth about this one here. We have, like I said, we've planned everything regarding the wedding and all the preparation leading up to the wedding. But the days after the wedding and the honeymoon and stuff like that, we have no idea. A lot of it is because we have other weddings that we're supposed to go to right after ours, and
True.
so we can't really plan, a honeymoon right after our wedding day.
Okay, so it's not going to be immediately after.
No, like I would prefer it to be like the month after, but
Right.
I think it's gonna end up being probably like early next year.
Okay. I would just suggest that, even if it's not immediately after or the week after or the month after, by the time your wedding comes around, have it booked already.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of people, like, they'll say, don't have time right now, but then if you don't plan it right then, like, you're never going to get around to it. It's just going to get pushed off forever.
Yeah, that's great advice because a lot of us have told both of us like don't skimp out on the honeymoon because it's usually like overlooked and people don't value it as much as the wedding or they're not stressed about it, but it's like the one time where the couple can just have fun with themselves like they like our friend Titus said, or our friend Titus told me, go on a trip when you guys are still madly in love with each other.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that goes into so my only suggestions for destinations. My wife and I ended up going to Maui,
Nice.
um, but we were kind of in the same boat in that we literally had that was back in 2011 when we had 20 plus weddings to go to. So literally the next week we had to come back and be part of another wedding at church. So we were only there for like 4 days, maybe 3 nights, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was great. I would suggest somewhere tropical, just because that's kind of more my personality, like just a more relaxed, wet honeymoon. But also, I feel like the more relaxed you are, the more distant, the more kind of out there, out of the way, away from city life, the more you're likely to unplug and really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you
So
guys have places in mind?
Yeah, so with that being said, I know that there are some potential destinations. Right now, we're looking and leaning towards like Tokyo, Japan.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I've never been to Asia. I've been to like South America and Europe and America, obviously, but I've never been to Asia. And like for me, my favorite cuisines in the world are Asian, so like Chinese, Vietnamese, etc. And so I definitely want to visit Asia, and just to like eat up, and because I know like leading up to the wedding, I'm gonna be like anorexic and not be eating at all, and so I want to like enjoy for that week or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so Tokyo is like on top of our list, and then like to combat Tokyo because it's gonna be like crazy, and we're gonna do a bunch of things and see
Yeah.
temples and stuff like that. So to counteract that, I want to do like a week, like you said, in a tropical, unplug, out of this like out of the world type of destination. So like a beach somewhere in Thailand would be nice, something like that. So
Yeah.
1 week of city life and 1 week of beach life.
Yeah. Well, just so you know, if you do totally unplug, that's going to be unpaid leave as well, just like Timmy, right?
I'll record a podcast over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, live on set.
Man, if you guys, I'm just kind of picturing you guys going to Tokyo right now, and you guys are really going to have to not skimp on asking for people to contribute to this honeymoon fund.
Oh yeah,
Like
for
you're gonna
sure.
go broke over in Tokyo,
Yeah.
just eating and buying everything. Um,
What
but
are
yeah, that
some
sounds.
what are some other like popular destinations you have heard of?
So we loved Maui because, but it is a little weird. It's a little surreal over there. Only because like everyone's so happy. They're almost like too happy. You know what I mean? Like everyone there is there for the honeymoon. Like everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's
Uh,
like Titus says, like madly in love with each other, and like there's never, yeah, everyone's just always smiling, and it's kind of weird. But
it's like that one traffic guy in Vegas that we met.
yeah, yeah, like you don't, but it feels genuine, but it's just weird having everyone that happy. Kind of just paying for overpriced sushi and stuff, overpriced hotels. But if it's not Hawaii, I think we would have probably thought about somewhere in the Caribbean,
Oh,
maybe even Mexico. Just somewhere, just really relax and no agenda. Just
I didn't know you were such a tropical person.
I think I was kind of groomed to be this way. I feel like when you're so we were always we would always go on trips growing up, and the schedules were always just so tightly packed that now I'm kind of veering the other direction. Like I'd rather have nothing on the schedule than everything on the schedule. At least for a honeymoon, you know.
Yeah,
Like other places, you're there to be more of a tourist, but honeymoon, you're kind of there to relax, stress free after the wedding, and just enjoy yourselves.
but definitely you're relaxing on the beach. It's just literally on the beach, right? Because you're definitely afraid of the ocean and the water.
Yeah, we were there for 3 days. I went in the water once and didn't go past my knees. So I don't understand the fascination with snorkeling. Like I don't want to see what's down there. Like why would I want to look down there?
Yeah, you're gonna find a lot of scary things.
Yeah, I just rather not know. Um, and yeah, I think that's pretty good. I don't want to hold you up too much longer. Don't want to get you in trouble before the wedding, but good luck finding that perfect wedding band to go with the engagement ring, and one for you as well. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, so for me, I just want like a silicone wedding band where all the athletes wear, like
The black one. Yeah.
people who work out. But she feels that she needs to get me like a regular band as well, either like titanium or tungsten or whatnot. But honestly, I know I'm just gonna be wearing that silicone one all the time.
Well, whatever works, man, and just don't lose it. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to this special love podcast or pocket change segment. Please follow us on Facebook at Six Pennies Podcast and subscribe to us on YouTube.